Hello, welcome to the Retro Robbins show. Yes, I know it's been quite a few weeks since my last show, but you know I've been quite busy making Project ZX81 come to life, and I managed to reveal that at RCM in Leicester, the Retro Computer Museum, which I went to recently and had a fantastic time there. Thanks to Andy, thanks to Simon, and thanks to all of the team there who really do try to make you feel at home and part of the family. There was some great stuff on show, and the entire experience is now bigger, brighter and even better. And yeah, Lara Croft was still on a plinth up high in the sky for you to see, but no longer be able to touch, which was highly disappointing. But anyway, enough of that. What's on today's show? Well, we're going to journey back to November 1985 to issue number 22, where Crash was an astonishing 95 pence, but believe me, it had a bit of a monstrous cover on the front of the artwork, which we'll take a look at in a minute. Quite prehistoric, as a matter of fact. Quality cover. One of my favourites, well, one of all of my favourites, quite a few favourites I do have. What else is on today's show? We're going to go back and check out some of the games that I missed recently. Homebrew scene, give them a play, give them marks out of 10. Do I think they're any good? Are they really playable? Or are they just good? We don't know. We'll find that out in a minute. As always, today's show is run on the Spectrum Next and the N-Glow, which is also a clone of the Spectrum Next, which is fantastic, which we'll use for atmospheric tunes in the background, shall we say. AY tunes, probably for more famous games as well as homebrew games. We may have a Commodore bit of action as well. From now on, if you read on the actual title screen, we're going to be including the MTX, the Sam Coupe, the Atari 800. We're also going to be including the TI-99, the MSX, and anything that we can find homebrew on other systems to give a play as well as next up, which I always have done a bit of next up, but not quite a lot. But I'm going to include a little bit more this time round. So let's have a look at today's cover for this Crash magazine. What a cover! The Tyrannosaurus Rex, well, a robot version of one anyways, blasting some sort of lightsabers or laser beams out there. Very colourful colour indeed, glorious to see on the shelves, and even the robotic spider, which reminds me of a Will Smith film that in not so long back had something similar. But yeah, the Zoids are coming. Whatever does that mean? November 22, December, 95 pence, 1985. Crash, of course, a Newsfield International cover. As covers go, that is, well, truly magnificent, and I really do quite like it. So we got the following page, you get that. The page that's the next page on, we get that, which is okay. They sold 1 million. Did you have that? I got part of that, but not all of it. So see if you can guess what game is loading simply by the fact that we're not going to tell you. Anyway, the producer was Bubble Boss. It would have cost you £7.95, and the author was Stephen Crow, spelled C-R-O-W, in case you're wondering. And this game is massive, and I mean monstrously massive, because it's a fantastic game. What is the game we're talking about? Well, any minute now you're about to see the loading screen, which is about to give everything away, I believe. And we'll take a look at the loading screen as it appears, which should be 8 on now. Yeah, isn't it brilliant? Starquake! Yes! What rating did Starquake get? Well, let me tell you. Fantastic game, Starquake. I really enjoyed this game, and many people's favourite. So, use of computer 95%, graphics would have been 96%, playability 94%, getting started 94%, addictive qualities 95%, value for money at £7.95 would have been 92%. Its overall rating then was... Give you a chance to have a guess. Not you, Emo. The punters. 96%. Well, all that remains now is we get to see this game in action. I don't believe it has an opening tune, but we may be wrong on that account, but we'll check it out in a minute now. It should be loaded any second. let me pre-warn you, I'm probably going to be absolutely rubbish at this game. And I do like the way that the loading sequence ends and starts to change colour before it's actually loaded. I think that's amazing. Caught me out. I thought maybe something had gone wrong when I first loaded this. I've got the original knocking about somewhere. In the meantime though, I do tend to just emulate the loading sequence on the wonderful Ngo or the Spectrum Next, which I think is fantastic. Hobbyist machine indeed, but what a machine. So usually when it changes colour like that, we're either halfway or 3/4 of the way through it, and I'm convinced that somewhere along the line the eye in the top corner blinks occasionally. Do you remember it? It has that sort of ultimate type outer border, doesn't it? So the cases that you get on the Ultimate play the games with that loading screen. Nothing major. However, the Starquake, if you notice, it's red or on some of them and blue on others. The actual Quake itself, I find that fascinating, the way they change the colour for different systems myself. Okay, we got a starting tune there. You probably saw the picture delayed a little bit on the. Okay, it's nice, isn't it? All the options you get there. You got your cursor keys, your Sinclair, your joystick interface too, etc. You can even define your own keys. In this case, because I've got the Kempson already plugged in, I'm going to go for the Kempson. We'll get a little doodle tune as it starts, which is start naught game. Right, I am going to be rubbish at this. Right, we can use platforms to drop, we can teleport. This game is just an absolutely... Oh, can we... Okay, so I didn't have the right code. This is what happens a lot with me, is I just end up dying an awful lot, to be fair to you. So we can afford... I mean... all the time your energy is going down, but the map... Oh, okay, so I didn't manage to get to that either, but I forgot the sparky thing kills you. This is where it becomes hard, because you really need to keep your energy up to be able to... I've run out, I can only go down. In fact, I've probably got to die just to get me energy back. Oh no, I'm doing rotten as always. I can say that I am a lot better at this normally. I think I might even need to start that again. Right, well, I had to die to be able to get this far, and now I've lost it again. I want to put the pokes in. I think I'm going to have to put the pokes in. What do you reckon? So I couldn't get past that screen. I had to restart it a little bit, but this game is ridiculously tough. I don't remember the code. The code is there right in front of me, so it's no! Okay. Right, we've only got so many platforms, so can we get to the top? Not if you die before you even manage to get there. You're just wasting your platform. I like the way you just start where you exactly die. This is really hard to get around these screens. I wonder how Tez did. Not better than me. Problem is, you don't start with enough platforms to continue, so you've got to collect stuff in order to carry on. How did anybody ever complete this game? Beyond me. I have done it, but I had to cheat. There we go. Bit of energy. Is that something I can collect? Yes, that's what I'm after. Ah, now I've got one of these. Makes it a lot easier when you can fly around. You know what I mean? So we can actually navigate screens a lot easier. We can go up, we can go down, and all sorts. It uses many of the same sounds that you use in Cookie, doesn't it, really, this? I just like travelling around. I'm out of weapons. Please tell me I'll start on the... yes, I do. I need something too so as I can fire. Maybe that's a platform, that one, isn't it? Yeah. Oh no, it's a fire. Cool. Cool, right. Don't want to touch anything electrical. It will kill me. And pretty quickly too. Oh, I can leave my platform behind and try and teleport somewhere else. I put the code in last time. You know, it's just code. Okay. Oh, we'll need that. You're not meant to keep firing around, but... Oh. How do I get past that? Well, I can't, so I can... This could be tricky because I've now got time, it says I can get through there. Right, there's another way around the screen, we've got to find it, let's have a look. Oh, there's some... I need that, don't I? Well, come back. Oh, God, this game's like... Yes, alright. That's how pathetic I really am. Enough of me being rubbish. Shall I put my name in? Yeah. Okay, delete. Right. AWE, who cares? Oh look, I got on the score sheet. Well, that's got to count for something, surely. What do I think of the game? Yeah, it's a fantastically brilliant game. The graphics are fantastic. The playability, although it is tough, if you do play it a lot, it does get really good. Does it still deserve a crash smash? Well, I think it's a solid 90%, so I totally agree. It is such a well-made, nice bit of artwork. And I remember playing this for the first time back in the day. I hadn't got a clue what I was doing then. I still haven't now, but I still try and still enjoy. Try it yourself. Starquake, for me, 9 out of 10. Well, it's a fair rating. Do you agree? As always, please leave your comments in the comments below. Time to join the ranks of the Terran Underground Liberation Movement, Gargoyle Games. We're about to look at a game which is supposed to be a trilogy of games set in the same sort of game mechanic as Dundarth and Turn a Nog. The game, of course, is called Marsports, where obviously again we've got problems with aliens and they've defeated the Earth and Moon, and Mars is the last port, to which has got a barrier which we need to recover some, shall we say, hidden plans to keep the barrier up by a person who invented by the name of Muller. They're going on too much because I didn't quite understand most of what I read. I did read through it, and I've started playing this game on a regular basis over the last couple of weeks to try and get into it, to give it a fair review. Because at first I found it pretty hard going, and then I got into it, and I really got into it because it got quite a high rating. £9.99 by Gargoyle Games. Yes, we got pesky alien problems again. The ratings was, user computer was 86%, the graphics was 94%, getting started was 83%, and playability was 83%, getting started, sorry, was 87%. Addictive quality is 95, value for money 95, its overall rating was 95%. In front of you there you have the loading screen, not a lot to write home about, and of course that is your base on Mars, which has got a shield of some sort, you know, like a glass dome. Yeah, it's pretty empty, shall we say, loading screen, but it does enough to give you the picture that you are on Mars. And when I first looked at that, you know, I get the sense of nostalgia of a film starring Arnold Schwarzenegger, which name has never escaped me, but it will come to me pretty soon. Get your ass to Mars. Oh, that was a terrible impersonation. Do apologise. Anyway, we're going to get this game loaded, we're going to give it a play, and we're going to see if it stands up to that big 95% rating that it received from out of Crash Magazine. Well, when you get the game loaded, you're presented with this screen: enter Mars port, save game, restore game, or demo mode. Restore game doesn't mean you restore the game that you've been playing. No, it means you can restore a game that you've saved. So this game was an early version of a, shall we say, a little where you can save your games, but you have to use tape to do it. You know, obviously PlayStation and stuff like that, you had a cartridge you plugged in to save games. Well, no, sorry folks, this is the way we did it back in the day. For those people who are not familiar with Sinclair and Commodore and all types of systems, very often you had to save your game progress by having a blank tape to hand in order to do so. You can also start a demo, which basically will just go round in circles. When you start the demo, yeah, there's your character, he will walk around, and you rotate the screen, so you have to have a good bearing. You've got a compass at the bottom which tells you what is where, and there's some unusual things knocking around. Aliens, you need to avoid basically, because one touch and you're dead. So your first priority is to try and get some sort of weapon of some sort in order to defend yourself. The game is really smooth, it's very playable. I do like the red background on this particular screen, you know, it's sort of dark, it gives it that Mars effect. It's a slow game, it takes a long time to get into, but when you do get into it, you'll find it a lot of fun to play. And I think you can start the game anytime you want by pressing any key for when the demo starts. So there you go, by pressing one key we're now in, and we can just ZX left and right, and I think we just use one key to rotate round, and I think you've got to use a fire key in order to get through that, which we can do in a minute. But you've got a terminal as well. I think, you know what, I've got to use my joystick really, but yeah, it's pretty easy to control. I kind of like the game. You've got your level count there, which is something I need to point out to you. That gives you helps you find your bearings to where you actually are. Anyway, I want to keep this video a bit short because it's already longed on a bit. 95% Crash gave it, definitely was a Crash smash, but when after I played Turn and Arc, these sort of games just seem to become the same old to me. However, this kind of added a different feel to it, and it was meant to be a trilogy of games. I'm not 100% sure whether the trilogy of these sort of games actually appeared, but the games itself, it was a good play. As I said earlier, I just couldn't get into it. So I'm going to totally agree with Crash there. I'm going to say it's a 9 out of 10, rather than 9.5 out of 10 that Crash give it, with their 95% rating. Marsport, hopefully that's a game you play, and as always with the Retro Robbins, I do like you to leave a comment. If you played this game at all, leave your comments in the comments below. Okay, so I did breeze through that last Crash Smash, but it is a long game to play. Anyway, something a bit more enlightening, actually a bit more fair light. We've got a classic game coming up now with a classic loading system. This, I'm going to load the 128K version, which has got debatable music to say the least. However, the opening music stays from the 48K version, which I might load that for you, because the way the music starts when this game loads, that first tune is absolutely knockout. If they'd have used this tune from Ghouls and Ghosts as the background music, it would have been more suitable from the game. This game would have cost you £9.95. The use of computer was 89%, the graphics was 97% already. Quite a high rating there. But then, remember, it is an isometric game, and it's got tiled floors and tiled backgrounds that the main character seems to go over, which is quite amazing. Playability 90%, getting started was 86%. I think that's pretty debatable, because it's not an easy game to play. In fact, it can be quite horrendously difficult in certain parts. Addictive quality is 91%, value for money 92%. Its overall rating then was 95%, yet another 95%. This one I will give it a bit of a playthrough. However, you can see that the long way to load as of yet, so the only thing there is to do is for me to do a quick bit of editing and get it to where it's nearly loaded. Isn't that just the best beeper sound ever produced for the ZX Spectrum? Fairlight, fantastic loading screen, fantastic opening tune. However, you don't get to hear that again. This is the tune that you're presented with the 128k version. Remember what I said about Ghouls and Ghosts would have been a better tune? Yeah, bit sharp, bit harsh pitched, but you know, it's okay. It's not the worst thing in the world, but it's just it's just a bit annoying after a while. Welcome to the 128k version of Fairlight. Yes, the 48k version is exactly the same, but this has got 128k music. It's also got a little intro. Tells you a little bit of information on the screen. Who's your bad guys, who's your good guys. It's this bit that gets on my nerves. What a fantastic loading screen. If I didn't say that, definitely looks like a proper English castle, including the whole scene. I think that the loading screen was made by the fact that they put a bird, you know, on the front of it. Not a female bird, you know what I mean, one that flies, something like that just predicts very English medieval type castle. It's just well done. Just leave those codes up there. Those are the people that done the graphics, and great game. So if you've never ever played this game, then you're living in the shell. If you've ever owned a Spectrum, I don't know anyone that hasn't. It's not to everyone's taste. It is a love-hate sort of game. You've either, like Marmite really, you either love it or you hate it. I have to say, I've got to be fair on the capabilities of the Spectrum for producing this sort of a game off, but it's not one that I sort of favoured, right? By the edge. They also did Brian Bloodaxe, and the game that does a reset. Pity they couldn't do that with this, but I can do that myself. Shut up, Emo. Anyway, let's get into the game. Controller, please. Forgot the keys, right, okay, yeah, it's directional keys. There we go. And the first thing we're going to do is avoid that like whirlwind. Go and pick up a scroll. I think it's M, is it, to pick up? Oh, it could be N to pick up. I've just entered the door. Right, I've entered the door. Let me just get, I've got to get this, got it. So it's caps. It's a bit different. If you've got a rubber keyboard, it's so much easier to control. He sort of hops upstairs and hops downstairs. Look, he runs downstairs, but he hops up. He seems to have, to me, I know it looks like a cape. It's almost you think he's gonna fly. Is he a superhero? No. Right. There is a button actually for using your sword. I think as we go out here, you might find a guard. No, we're okay. There's a back way into the castle, really. Yeah, watch it, because there's little things that suddenly, like, there you go, your guard appears from nowhere. You wake him up and he comes running after you. Thing I don't like about it's that delay of music as the screen changes, and the fact that this guy here can catch you up. And as he touches you, your life force goes down a touch. I think that door's locked, so I need to find a key for that one. it's a little, the bouts of silence you get, isn't it? You know, it's quite a decent map, but once you've learned it, you know, you'll get quite far in this game. Is there any bad guys in here? Yeah, there's two, but there's obviously a broken bottle there. I don't know what we need to do with that. I've never really completed this game. But you can get through quite a few screens quite quickly. I like the grand entrance. Oh, yeah. So we're outside the castle, are we? Yeah, we've just gone over the bridge and we're outside the castle, and we can basically walk around the castle as long as we don't, oh dear, I fall down and die. Right. Oh, this is a tough one because, yes, he got 95%. Yes, he was given a crash smash. I didn't really enjoy it as much as some people would have thought, but I can understand why it got such a high rating. To me, it was just another isometric game back in the day, with a little bit more difficulty. It runs quite smooth. I don't think I should touch it. I think I should leave it I'd like to downrate it to 8.5 myself, not give it a crash smash. But there's nothing probably in this genre as good as this, really, so yeah, let's leave it at 9 out of 10. 9 out of 10 for Fairlight. Still a crash smash, but only just in my books because I'm still rather undecided. That was a roundabout long way to say 9 out of 10. Oh well. Let's have a look at something a little bit more modern. Colin the Cleaner Turbo Edition. This is a little platformer that I've been having a little crack on lately. Yeah, it's an interesting challenge. We'll get more to that. I like the little tally type going across the bottom. Oh, it just reminds me of Saturday, what is it, sports television. Remember the football used to come in, you used to have that little tally type going across the bottom, and yeah, I kind of like that. So we got joystick, we got keys we can define, and S to start the game. The keys are pretty simple, but we will define them anyways, just so I can get a grips with what I'm doing. Now let's have a look. Right, so we need one for move left, move right, which we'll use on this occasion ZX. And the action key will be space. L's hold and A's abort. Are those keys fine? Yep. Let's get straight into the game and I'll explain why you play it. Right, you need to basically collect everything in this room, and there's a way to do that. You don't want to be going downstairs because strangely he can go upstairs quite well, but as soon as he goes downstairs he'll lose a life. And this game can end quite quickly indeed. So what you do is you go to this little teleport device, or maybe it's just a spring that, or an arrow that's pointing upwards that will just get you straight up. Then you work your way around the map, press action key to go down ladders. You can pretty much see where this is leading to. So we've need to get the ones on the top, find a specific order in which to collect these. Right, so we want to go down first, collect all the ones at the bottom. Obviously we've got to leave, I believe, that last one. I've come the wrong way, haven't I? So yeah, there we go. Right, up here. Now hopefully I should be able to get all of these. I've made a mistake. Now because I've made a mistake, I can collect the last two items here, but as soon as I step downstairs I can't get to the last one. But this is part of the beauty of this little game. It's a simple little puzzle game as well as being a platformer, and you can lose your lives pretty quickly with one wrong press of the key, which I've just demonstrated in full force. Okay, we didn't do too well there, but what we'll do is we'll go back again, give it another go. I've got the high score, and see if we can clear the first screen. Right, we're about to complete the first screen. It took me a few goes, but I pretty much figured it out without losing any lives. Collect this one last. You've prevented with a little symbol there. You've got a timer that's counting down. And then we'll move on to the next screen. Which, you can only go certain directions. Now I've done that, I'm committed to going upwards. So, on these earlier screens you can make mistakes. Let's get everything from the top. But on later screens you don't want to go down that lander, for instance, because you know it's going to be instant death. And it's just not good for the karma. Right, let's go across here. Ah, right, okay, so somehow I've got to work my way round to there. Which we can go upwards, that's fine, okay, that's cool. We'll come down straight here. And screen 2 is out of the way. As you progress through this game, it does get a little bit more difficult. Which is what you want, really, isn't it? You know, you want it to stay the same simply. But a lot of these screens you can pretty much work out straight away on how to get around. If you take your time and you're careful, that is. But when have I ever been careful and took my time? Yeah. Straight to the top with that one, how about that? Okay, we'll get it in here. Doing pretty well, I've got to be honest. I'm quite enjoying it as well. It's surprising for such a simple basics of a game. Okay, Colin the Cleaner, the Turbo Edition. First time I've played that, really, and gave it a good go. Quite enjoyed it. Can't see me not finding that too much difficult. It'd be nice to get a little bit further later on in the screens. Marked out of 10 then. Well, this is going to surprise you. It's simple, it's addictive, it's quick, it's challenging. It's not graphically brilliant, and there's no AY tune in it, but still, it's managed, in my books, to get an 8 out of 10. I've quite enjoyed it. Give it a go, it's available on itch.io. Colin the Cleaner, 8 out of 10 by Retro Robbins. Can you believe that? Anyway, I've got some clean up to do. Hell Tank, what a fantastic looking loading screen that is, full of action. I did have difficulties getting this to work properly earlier on because for some strange reason it kept putting the ULA plus on, and that meant the planes in the background were going brown and the text was appearing brown. However, this is an interesting game, developed obviously by the MPAGD engine 2024, probably based on an arcade, if I remember rightly. Was there an arcade called Hell Tank? You could probably correct me on that. Anyways, hopefully any minute now this game will load, we'll give it a play and we'll see what I think of this and give it a mark out of 10. Loading screen gets a 10 out of 10. I think that's amazing. Really good. Great use of the spectrum colours there and the font as well for the word Hell Tank in that sort of panoramic 3D type, sort of bending round like remember the curved screen TVs we used to get? Well, I was talking about that in the past tense. It's still a thing, isn't it? Right, let's get rid of the Chase HQ music in the background if you didn't already work that out, and get on with playing this particular game. Okay, we're loading, and we've got now that brown thing happening in the background. Yeah, presented with a fairly simple loading screen. You've got the choice of keyboard, Kempston, Sinclair, or you could even redefine your keys. Well, as it's a fairly simple premises, we're going to redefine the keys. Important thing is we're going to need the jump key because it becomes very important later on. What do I need to pause? We'll have wait. Right, let's go for the joystick, starting with a tune that's playing in the background. Trying to make it out. It's a 80s or 70s tune. I kind of know it. It's there. I'll tell you what, you tell me what tune is playing in the background. an AY version of it. Very good, to be fair. Let's get to playing the game. Yep, okay, we got all that. Oh, I'll tell you what, it's a bit loud. So at the moment, your first screen, you've just got to blast any helicopters that are in the sky. And hopefully blast them before you die. There we go, next level's done. And then it gets a little bit harder. Because I think they fire at you. Oh, the jump feature will become apparent in a bit, right? Because you will need it. Probably later screens, not so much the early ones. I do like the fact that they're stage clear, right? Okay. Yeah, we've got to watch the helicopter, and of course you're gonna. Oh, I can hit the street light, did I? Okay. As well as the bomb that sort of homes in on you. So I think the key to this is to get rid of the helicopter first. And the air balloon. Because that gets a bit of annoying. Right, here we go, we've got to get the gunship now. Got him. Yeah. It's a fast-paced game, it's got reasonably good graphics. I think if you had left them, I think if it could have been done, you know, this is a bit I don't understand. I don't know what these are meant to be. They look like telephones to me, but at closer examination, what are they? Level clear. It's getting pretty hectic now, isn't it? I mean, there's that many objects on the screen, it's hard to focus on them all at once. As soon as you get a few of these down. One down. Two down, come on. Ooh. Okay, we've got a buddy here. I don't get that freezing bit. Oh, these bombs are actually disintegrating the ground, so now we've got to jump over the pit holes as well. And you can't get rid of the bombs. Oh, this is a tough baddie fight. This is the easy version. And I don't know if you have to start from scratch or what, but come on, I've got to be getting close, surely. Oh no. Yes! Oh, change of AY. Good, good, good. I'm game over, I'll tell you what. That is tough. That is tough. Unexpected. I didn't expect the bombs to destroy the ground. Great use of graphics, great use of colours, and it is a tough, but it's an intense play. Yes, my arm is hurting because I've had to hit the spacebar that hard, that quick. But listen to that music as well. Talk about adding atmosphere, talk about adding intensity, talk about making it very exciting, very fast. And when there's lots of things happening on the screen, it's happening quite smoothly. This makes it a very good gaming experience indeed. Really enjoyed that. Think I'm going to use the joystick pad rather than my keyboard. My poor Spectrum Next, it feels like it's gone through a Daley Thompson decathlon moment, you know. Yeah, Mox Ayrton then. Considering it was developed with an genius to choose from, I'm going to give that a 9.5 out of 10. I really enjoyed it. I thought it was graphically great. I loved the boss fight. The boss fight was difficult, but I did it, and because I done it, I enjoyed it more. Let's have a look at something now for the Commodore Amiga 1200, hopefully, and then we'll end the show. Yeah, give this a go. It's available on download. itch.io, as always, is the place to go to. If you've got a chance to emulate or play it on original Spectrum or Spectrum Next or Spectrum 128K, 128K I think it is only compatible with. I don't think it works on a 48K, but don't quote me on that, I'm not sure. Hell Tank. Hell yeah. On a recent trip to RCM in Leicester for the gathering, I met up with Andy Jones, and I did say I wanted to promise you a brand new game for the Amiga, which you can incidentally get from itch.io. I managed though to pick up the physical copy there, and the game is Ooze, the escape. As we open it up, we can see a great... Oh, I do love the original feel of that. Credits go to Andy Jones and Bubblesoft Games, where you can probably get a physical copy. Andy has only got a limited amount of these physical copies. This game was previously released on the Spectrum and the Commodore. I'm going to put it in so as you get the full loading experience. We're loading it using a Amiga 1200. We'll work on the 500 as well, as long as you've got the upgrade on the RAM, shall we say. So you got the full 1 meg, is it? I don't know how it works. I'm using the joystick. Got it in the right port. Who's the Escape? Great starting title. You'll see the thing. It tells you a little bit about the bottom. All we've got to do, play this game. I'll explain a bit more about this game as we go along. Love the soundtrack to this game. Gives it a real good feel. Makes it more playable than before, and it's immense. This sound will continue as we press start to play the game, so it won't restart the tune. It just continues and runs through, and it's quite dark, quite a sinister, quite a you're playing that little green thing, the Ooze itself, sort of like a throwback to the Blob, but green. Bogies! Oh, couldn't get that in. Right, I'm going to press fire. And we start with the opening screen where you're trapped in that glass vial there, and it's slowly cracking. You're having a tantrum. You're out. Right. Joystick simple left and right, and fire will either get you to the top, gravity upwards, or gravity downwards if you like. That's a very disturbing. Now, anything with a white in it is probably going to kill you. In this case of timing, for instance, if I was to go up now, because there's a little bit of white on that green there, it will kill you. Great soundtrack. Listen to that. Problem is, we can't do you justice here. It's probably a bit loud. Let me turn it down to us. We can't exactly do you justice because you're going to get a mono version of this sound. The soundtrack is in stereo and it's quite immense. We've got to avoid anything that moves, really. So it's just a little bit of timing required. It's not a difficult game, but if you get impatient, this game will sting you. Get straight out of the room. Obviously we can't go through here, so we've got to work our way around differently. And if you watch the patterns of the bad guys, that's your extra life. You will need these extra lives. They're dotted around the screen on a regular basis. Those little sparks coming from there, they're not dangerous. However, this chopping device with those little roto flashes, shall we say, is dangerous, and if that catches you, you will be in for the chop. Sorry. Oh. There we go. Now, this is the first real screen that will show you what we can't do. That's a green barrier. In order to get through that green barrier, you need a green key. So we've got to find the green key. We need to put that in place. It will open the barrier. There's a screen where you put all the keys. We need to travel round the maze until we come across our first key. Fortunately, that one, it's not too difficult to get through. There's a red key, so we can collect that. This could be difficult. This could be difficult. Right, we need to time this quite well. There we go, got a red key. Oh, but as it happens, because you've got the key, you've not got to start again, but you start from where you died. So if you're finding it difficult to get past somewhere, you're in for a bad shot because you're not going to find it any easier. Oh. I think I've got this though. I think I've got this. Oh, now if you look at the bottom corner, you can see where you're flashing is where you are and where you've been. Those dots are where you've been, and that thing littered up there is where you've got to go and get that key to. So you need to work your way round the maze. Once you've learned the maze, you start to find that you get new keys, and new areas of the map will open up to you. This is where it could get a little bit tricky for Retro Robbins, but we'll give it a go. I'm going to be ultra cautious here and just take my time. As you can see, there's a middle one. Collision control's really good. It's not going to bite you if you're slightly off, but it can catch you out if you take advantage of it. That needs good timing. I made it look fairly easy because that's how good I am. I think we've got to go this way. I'm not sure. I kind of forgot. Whoa. I don't think we have gone this way, have we? Where are we? Are we going? We go in the wrong direction, really. So we don't need to go that way. Oh, this one could be tricky. This one's tricky. I don't like this one. But I've managed it okay, so we shouldn't have too much problems getting to that first room. As long as we're not impatient. We've got to go this way, I believe. Yeah. Listen to that tune. I'm loving the tune. Getting ever closer to where I need to go. There's another life down there. We can always get that later. There's no need to collect every life that you see straight away. Keep the moon in reserve. Oh, do I collect the life? No. Let's deliver this key. We're only 2 rooms away, so I think. Do we go this room? Well, we can't go that way because obviously it's blocked because we've got to go up some road. So I presume it's this method. Yeah, there we go. We can put our first key in place. Just literally, you go over here. The red key is going to be the first one, and by doing that, you've now opened any red barriers you come across. Now, obviously, to get through that barrier, I'm going to need a purple key. But I'm not going to do that just yet, so blue, I can't get through the blue barrier. I need a blue key. I need to put the blue key in. So somewhere we've opened a red barrier. All we've got to do now is find out where this red barrier is, and I think it was pretty much back roughly at the start, so I will try and get the extra life just because I can. Yay! And I nearly lost it in the same breath. Oh, there we go. Okay, I've been playing this for hours and I found it extremely addictive. It isn't that hard to complete. I've not managed it yet because I run out of patience. As you can see, I've covered quite a lot of the screens there, but there is more than just what you see, and it gets more and more difficult as you go on. Graphically, it's a great graphical experience. It's nothing over the top. It does what it needs to do on that particular game. I've found it immensely enjoyable. Certainly love the soundtrack. The whole experience of the game is worth getting. It is worth getting. I'm new to the Amiga, so anything that like this is going to impress me. Obviously I've got a PlayStation 4, but you know, I thought it was good. Marked out of 10 then. Let me give you a good clue. Is it a Retro Robbins special? Knowing the capabilities of the Amiga, this was developed with the AGD engine and it really was a good play, and I don't see why you wouldn't enjoy it. I'm going to give this an astonishing, for me personally, because I really enjoyed it, and I'm not being biased, a 9.5 out of 10. Yeah, I'm going to class it as a Retro Robbins special. Definitely worth a play, definitely worth getting, even if you just want to leave that soundtrack on in the background. It's pretty good. Yeah, so that was Ooze the Escape. Which means it's time to, well, end the show. Hopefully. Once again, thanks to everybody for joining me. Thanks to all my new subscribers. Thanks to you there for sticking with me so long. If you've liked today's show, remember to subscribe if you haven't already. If you already have, thank you. I really appreciate it. If there's any suggestions you'd like me to play, any particular system you'd like me to play, remember the Retro Robbins show is all about playing it on real hardware. There's no emulation or simulation inside here. It's basically me, and I'm doing it for free for you, to give you a little bit of retro gaming fun for the weekend. 16-bit or 8-bit variety mainly on Commodore Spectrum, MSX and all various computers. Thank you to Matthew Loeb for my AY tunes. Thank you to Richard Hollins. Thank you to Richard Hollins. Lee Chubb Stevens, who's doing a game about me, I believe. Interesting to see that. And in the meantime, depending on where you watch this, from Emo, my AI artificial intelligence with a bit of arthritis in his artificial leg, and me, it's goodbye from now. Hope to see you soon in the next Retro Robbins show. In the meantime, depending on when you watch this, have a nice working week or weekend. You take care, and I'll see you again soon. Bye for now. Bye, y'all.